What's up, witches? What's up? I feel like Oprah when I do that. You get a witch and you get a witch and you get witches. What's up, Zebulons in the building? What's up, honey? How are you? What's up? I feel like I have way too many tabs open. Hey, Jeanette, what's up, honey? How are you? Let me see if I can pull these tabs apart without causing chaos. Can you guys hear my music? Oh, wait. Oh, there you are. Oh my God, I thought I lost it. What's up? I am good, sweetheart. I am so good. Yes, the book bundle I'm very excited about as well. If you guys don't know, first of all, if you don't know me, hi, I'm Allie, aka BronxWitch. Welcome, welcome to High Tea, an opportunity for us to gather on the full moon and enjoy our herbs of choice. You might smoke them, you might drink them, you might burn them, but we come together and get high off of life. And I answer questions about witchcraft and Wicca, spirituality, all that good stuff. And sometimes we have an activity of some kind. And this is currently streaming out to all of my lovely subscribers on YouTube. But High Tea is not always streamed to the general public. So if you would like to make sure that you get to see every single high tea that we do, definitely make sure to become a Coven Witch. It is very easy to do so. Go to bronxwitch.com/online, or you can click the links in the description. Membership is just $9.99 a month, and you get access to our book club, the Witches of Color support group, all of the live virtuals that we do, free access to guest instructor classes, monthly discount codes, yada, 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 lots of stuff. And the book bundle that Jeanette is referring to is the book club's first 6 books. So if you are interested in reading along with the book club or in becoming a member, we have been reading one book every month for the last I think we've been going for 2.5 years now. So for 2024, the January through June book list has been made, and you can get all of those books in a convenient, low-priced, discounted bundle, which you can find on the website, or if you are a Coven Community Witch, then I posted all about it in the news feed. If you're a Coven Community Witch, don't forget to use your monthly discount code because you get an additional 15% off. So I'm excited about the book bundle because I've been talking about it ever since I started the book club. I was like, I want to put a bundle together for you guys, and I'm finally able to do it. So I'm really happy about that. And I think this is going to be super dope for everybody because you can read at your own pace, read ahead if you want to, skip around. It's going to be nice to have all 6 books and not have to go hustling to buy it every month. So I'm excited. The book bundles are going to ship out after January 8th because one of the books has to be published. That's its published date. But after that, the book bundles are going to go out. So you can go order yours now if you want. And if you want to be a part of the book club meetings and actually tune into our monthly Zoom sessions, and you're going to want to become a Coven Community Witch. All right, everybody get that? Anybody can get the bundle. Read at your own pace, read along, do what you would like. that's on the website. But if you want to come to our monthly Zooms, or we'll be talking about each of the 6 books, then you're going to want to become a Coven Community Brujo or Bruja. Hey, hey, what's up, Tarot Stash? How we doing? Oh, the music. Okay, it's not too bad. Okay, good, good. I'm trying to keep it on low. It didn't help me the last time. They still demonetized me. But I think this is copyright free. Hello, my darling. This is high tea, so I won't be doing readings at the present moment. High tea is an opportunity for us to get together, hang out. We usually do some witchy crafts, and I answer your questions. So, not tarot questions, but you can certainly book a virtual reading with me. I'd love to sit with you. Link is down below. And it's so interesting you would ask. I will be doing live readings tonight on my OnlyFans after this. That's Topless Tarot Tuesdays. That's kind of a different vibe. So, but you can pop over there too. The link is in the description for that as well. I'll be doing zodiac readings for the full moon over there tonight. Hey, hey, I love when you guys talk to each other. Yes, I'm excited about the newly published book too. It's called Tarot for the Hard Work by, I believe it's Mila Minis. I think this is a wiser book, and it is all about using the tarot and the spiritual development you can get from it to like inform your activism against any of the isms, racism, transphobia ism, all the isms. So I'm excited for that one because I really like you get tired of the tarot books that are like the Ace of Cups means this, the King of Swords means this. You get to a point, at least for someone like myself who's been divining with tarot for some time now. That type of book isn't as helpful anymore, and now you want to look at how tarot can inform something deeper in your life. So I'm excited for that one. And then the summer book is cool because we usually read one book a month, but for the summer, we're going to read one book for 2 months. For June and July, we're going to read 78 Degrees of Wisdom because that's a thick one. And I feel like as a student of the tarot and a diviner, the fact that I haven't read that book is kind of poo-poo on me. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it's a new release, so I'm sure people are like posting their reviews and stuff about it. I just got my review copy from the publishers to check out. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to get to take a little peek at that. But everybody will get it after the 8th if you get the bundle. So to get the bundle, just go to bronxwitch.com, go to the shop. You're going to click on books, new books, and then click on book club reads. And in that folder is going to be all of our book club books, but also the bundle. And that's January through June. So you're going to get 6 books for a super low price. And Coven Community Witches, don't forget to use your discount code, your secret discount code, for an additional 15% off. Yes. Super excited. So, what herbs are we enjoying today, guys, for tea and tarot? Or, sorry, high tea. Who's got some tea with them? Who's got some herbs with them? What herbs are we calling in this full moon? What herbs are stepping forward to provide us with support? I'm going to talk to you guys about what's in my cup because if you're new around here, this will be new for you. But if you're one of the OGs, then you know that this is my very special detox tea that I enjoy every year. And my detox has definitely begun because I went a little hard for the holidays. Yeah, we read Walk Through the Forest of Souls. That was our November book. I think we just finished that one, which was beautiful because that was Rachel Pollack's last book before passing on. So it was special to read that one. So, but I'm excited to go back and do 78 Degrees. It's one of those classics that, I should have been read. I'm going to be honest. I should have been read, but haven't. So we're going to get that done. Gonna get that done. And then the bundle for the second half of the year, I'm gonna make two bundles available. I'm gonna make one that doesn't have 78 degrees in it and one that does. That way, if you already got the January through June bundle, you don't have to get a second copy of 78 degrees for the second half of the year. But if you're jumping in for the second half, you will get it. So I'm gonna make two available. But yeah, I'm excited. I think I'm honestly probably most looking forward to reading The Priestess Path by Stacey DeMarco. That's the January book. We're starting off with that. And I definitely, Nuri, our fantastic coven moderator, is going to be administering our book club meetings for January through June. So I was not like the person leading the decisions of like what books to include, but I definitely gave a big thumbs up for The Priestess Path because I'm just in that space right now where I'm kind of revisiting what it means to balance my divine feminine and my divine masculine, being a small business owner and needing to be so masculine all the time, and kind of not struggling but like figuring out how to adapt to being more receptive, to being more open to help and support. um, I'm very proud to say that as like a business owner and someone who hires people, I work very hard, or maybe not work hard because I feel like it's not something I'm putting effort into. I do believe that I'm like a compassionate and fair employer or like person to work with. I try to keep like my the people that work with me, like their lives in my mind, like remember like other people have lives and stuff like that. So I try to do that. So I don't struggle in that regard, but I definitely struggle when it comes to like accepting help, accepting support from people without them expecting something back from me. Um, being okay with the fact that people really love what I'm building, love the community I've created, love me, and for what I've done for them, or whether it be readings or guidance, coaching, classes, etc. Um, that's like the feminine receptive part of me that needs a lot of like encouragement, and opportunity to shine. So I think that book, I have a feeling, is going to have some good gems and nuggets for me. So I'm looking forward to that one. I think all of them are good. I think Nuri picked a good selection of choices, classics, new books, tarot, magic, spirituality. I think it's a good lineup. Do we how many people in here are planning on participating in 2024's book club? I'm curious. How many people are down? We got any book witches in the building? Book witches. Are my comments working? If you guys told me what your herbs are, I totally missed it. If you told me what your herbs are, I totally missed it. Let me see. Over on the YouTubes. I'm gonna write yo, see if it pops up. Okay, I see myself. I'm not seeing your comments. Wait, what's going on? Okay, live chat. Will someone comment so I can see if comments are not working? Okay. Tarot Stash is only drinking water. Love it. The most important thing. Technically, so am I. I'm having tea, but really, isn't it just water? As Janae, if you guys tuned into that episode of my podcast, BetterWitch Podcast with Janae Maron Tate, we talked about how we talk about tea, and we sometimes don't really talk about like the water element of tea. Hey, Soulcology, welcome. Oh, I love your picture. Hello. Welcome, gorgeous. But yeah, when we talk about tea, we kind of talk about it almost like it's its own thing without thinking about like it's really just water. It's mostly water, primarily, right? So technically, so am I. My tea is my favorite tea for this time of year. This is my skinny spice tea I am drinking today. My skinny spice tea I created to pair with my detox potion, both of which are available in the shop, by the way. And I upgraded my potion bottles. So for those of you who usually get my winter medicine, my cold potion, my detox potion, I upgraded to 4-ounce bottles for the same price. So I'm excited about that because I used to have to tell people, if you want to do a 2-week detox, get 2 bottles of the detox potion. And then I was like, why don't I just make the bottle twice as big? And then everyone can get 1 bottle and do their 2 weeks. So that's what I did. But Skinny Spice I made to pair with my detox potion because the detox potion is made with yellow dock root, which is super, super, super bitter. All right. It's the only one of my potions that is like hard to swallow. All the rest of them are like really delicious. But detox is really bitter. It's made with all roots. And if you've ever had a root tonic, you might be used to it, but if you're not used to drinking root tonics, you might not be used to this level of bitter. So I made a tea that is spicy and gingery to go with it because gingery spicy cuts bitter very well. A sweet tea or a mint tea or something like that was not going to do it. That would only make it worse. But a spicy tea will knock it out. So Skinny Spice supports my detox potion. It has a lot of the herbs, like the leafy part of the herbs, of the same roots that are in the tea. So there's dandelion leaf and there's marshmallow leaf. And in the detox potion, there's dandelion root and marshmallow root. So it's got that. It's got ginger. It's got cardamom pods. It's got grapefruit peels. And grapefruit is really great at burning fat and helping support, like, your weight loss, which is usually why we're detoxing. So they pretty much just go hand in hands. They're twinsies. So this is the tea, Skinny Spice. So that's what I'm having. Oh, and the main ingredient is senna leaf. And if you know anything about Senna, she is gonna move it right on out of you. And she's great for weight loss. Thank you. Appreciate it. This is crayon case. I'm getting back into my makeup these days now that I'm doing my other page. And I'm loving it. Put her. I'm definitely not saying that right. But I love that. Yeah, tea is a very simple, ancient way of doing so freaking much. So freaking much. Like a cup of tea and a candle is like you can move mountains. Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's definitely a great way to bring in that energy. I think, were you mentioning drawing down the moon? I think you're talking about the book, but in the ritual, drawing down the moon, where we evoke the essence of the divine feminine through the full moon into our space or into ourselves, this would be a great way to really call her into yourself, to charge your moon water and then use it in your tea. Yeah, come on in. Come on in. They're on the website, but we've got them out on the shelves as well. Cold potion and detox potion are the only two that I made this year. So I've got those available, and they're moving pretty quickly. I think people are excited about the 4-ounce bottle. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you feel that way. I think it's a gentle cleanse as well. I'm not trying to like hurt myself when I do my yearly detox, and everything that I make for myself. I started making for myself and then, made more for others. But everything that I make, which is why I also, if you ever wonder like, oh, I wonder why she doesn't have a tea for this or she doesn't have a tea for that. It's because I haven't experienced it in my life. I haven't dealt with it myself, or I haven't had like a bestie be like, can you make me a tea to do this? That's pretty much how all of my teas, soaps, yoni steams, how they all have been created. It's something I made for myself that I was like, oh, this is cool. I'll make it for other people. Or one of like my besties was like, I'm having this problem. Can you make me a something? And then I did, and I was like, oh, this was great. So that's why I don't have every like condition. People will be like, do you have a tea for this? Do you have a tea for that? And I'm like, no, sorry, I haven't gone through that just yet. Um, but my detox tea came from, my own desire to detox. And I definitely didn't want it to be too harsh. So I balance out the yellow dock and the dandelion root with marshmallow root. And that is a very soothing and slippery kind of plant matter that makes it a lot easier what you're doing to yourself, especially if you're going to pair it with the skinny spice, because senna leaf, is a laxative and can, as is the yellow dock root. So if you're doing both, you're going to get a good cleanse, but you want to try to probably make that process as gentle as possible. So that's why I've echoed that same idea in the tea with marshmallow leaf and stuff like that. So anyway, this is not a tea talk. Actually, yes, it could be. It can be whatever we want it to be, right? It can be whatever we want it to be. I did want to give you guys a tour of my witchy. I call it my witchy room, but it's really the witchy corner of my room, which I think is important because it's important for me to help witches um, just witch better and maybe overcome some of the pitfalls of like having everything be so accessible online and some of the misconceptions and things that happen. And I don't think you necessarily see a lot of witches. What's up, Linda? Welcome. That are like in urban environments or in small spaces. When you look online, it's a lot of rolling hills and cottages and wonderfully rustic kitchens and stuff like that. And I think it's important for other witches to see that, like, you might have a sprawling cottage or you might be in a 1-bedroom apartment in the hood in New York City. And you can have a really beautiful witchy practice working with what you've got. So my witchy space has definitely evolved over the years. It may only be a corner of my rather spacious bedroom, I have to be honest, now, but to me it's a palace because my first witchy anything was a sheet that I hid under my bed. Some of you know this story. My first altar, I couldn't put it up in my room because my mom was not having that. So it was a collection of candelabras and glasses and things that I had stolen from around the house. And I kept them in a blue sarong, basically. And I would wrap it all up and hide it under the bed. And I would pull it out when I wanted to use it and lay it out on the floor and set up my altar on the floor. So now the fact that I even have like dedicated space in my apartment to it is like, wow, I've really leveled up over the years. Yay! Happy full moon, everybody. I'm so, so, so grateful. So, so, so blessed. I have a really wonderful view of the full moon from usually both of my bedroom windows. So it's been cloudy today, but hopefully it clears up so I can see her tonight. Hey, Betty, welcome. It looked like it was going to snow here today, but it didn't. It did not. Well, before I get into showing you guys around, I will also let you know, since we talked about book club and other stuff like that, I want to give you guys the heads up that my Better Witch Magic Intensive 6-month coaching program to becoming a better witch is going to be reopening for enrollment at the 1st of February. So mark your calendars, get excited for that. The current batch of Better Witches is just about 2 modules, about 4 weeks away from being done and graduating their 6 months with me, getting one-on-one coaching through the 10 areas of the craft that I believe every witch could probably be doing better, having an easier go of it. And I'm excited because I'm going to jump right in with another batch of witches because there were quite a few of you that messaged me after I closed enrollment for this session, saying that you just found out about it or didn't have enough time to get ready and stuff like that. So I don't want to wait. I'm going to jump right into the next batch of Better Witches. And if you would like to be one of those Better Witches, then you're not going to want to miss out on the enrollment period. So enrollment will be open from February 1st through the 5th. So just mark that in your calendar for now. If you're not on my mailing list, there's a link in the description to get on my newsletter. I would do that because that way you'll know exactly about early bird discounts, when enrollment opens, reminders, and all that good stuff. But I just want to give you guys the heads up, February 1st through the 5th. So make a note of that. If you missed that last time, I'm going to open enrollment again, okay? Yay. All right. Okay, let's see. I plugged in a second camera for assistance to take advantage of technology. All right. Can you guys see? Okay. I'll use that for the next one. All right. Okay. So we are in my witchy space. I'll try to give you some perspective of where we are. We're like in a corner of my bedroom. And I turned my altar. My altar, if you remember from my YouTube videos, used to face the window. But now I have it facing south. And let's see. Over there, it's like my reading nook area and then my bed. So this is like one half of like the back of my bedroom, if that makes sense. This is my apothecary. which has been ransacked thanks to opening HQ. Because everything at HQ kind of started in here. So I used to be super, super organized. And then over time, like started transferring everything over to HQ. And now HQ has a super organized, alphabetized, really neat, wonderfully packaged apothecary, and my life is in a shambles because I've like transitioned my attention to making sure I have everything over there, and everything over there is meticulous, and so now everything is kind of crazy. So what we're gonna say is this is where the herbs are, and there used to be rhyme and reason. Everything used to be really alphabetized, and now I'm just really proud of myself if there's a label. Okay, if there's a label, then I am very happy about that. But that's what we've got going on up there. And then also up here is our resins. So I also have jars of resins that I like to keep on hand. When it comes to the herbs and resins and things that I keep, I think that um, this is definitely one of those areas of your craft where truly time will tell. Okay. Um, you will find in books lists of recommended herbs to start with and things of that nature, and those are perfectly fine. And go right ahead and follow those, and grab yourself a handful of things just to have on hand to start. But there's really no way to know today what types of herbs you're going to start gravitating towards in your practice, using often, or anything like that. So when it comes to the herbs that I keep on hand, they really are born out of years of my own use. So I have some things that to some people might not really make a lot of sense or seem to have a magical use, etc., etc. Or the amount that I have on hand might not make a lot of sense to somebody else because they might need a lot more or much less. So for you and your personal apothecaries, especially if you're like just starting out, a couple of things that I would say. One, don't bother buying from herb suppliers, and that includes me too. I understand. I'm giving you the real deal, okay? And this is why we don't carry these types of herbs very much in the shop, because it doesn't make sense. But herbs that you can get in your grocery store, like the dried basil, the dried oregano, what have you, don't bother buying those from like metaphysical shops and stuff like that. What you can find in your supermarket for your intents and purposes, if you are just getting started, is perfectly fine. When you start wanting to like make your own medicine, your own herbal medicine, for example, or you get to the point where you want to start making your own essential oil and extracting volatile compounds from fresh plant matter or dry plant matter or whatever the case may be, you will then uh, shift and change like where you get your herbs from and how much and all of that good stuff. But if you're just starting to cast spells and things like that, there isn't going to be any difference for the most part from what's in your supermarket and what the metaphysical shops have. But your supermarket's likely to have it for far more affordable. And it's going to come in like convenient shaky bottles and stuff like that. And it might take a little bit of shifting of your mentality if you look at, that bottle of like dried oregano at the grocery store and don't think it's a viable tool for working magic. It totally is, because we're talking about connecting with the energy of the plant, and that's what matters. So when it comes to kitchen type herbs and spices that you can get from your grocery store, just get them from your grocery store. If you find spells, rituals, things like that, or learn about herbs that you want to connect with that are not your conventional grocery store herbs, then that's when you're probably going to want to go to your metaphysical shop or your local herb shop or whatever, and get stuff from there. Okay, so that's one tip. Another tip, when you get herbs from metaphysical shops or from herb shops, a lot of times you might just get like a scoop of a certain measurement into like a paper bag or something like that. You don't want to leave your herbs stored in paper or plastic bags or anything where there's going to be a lot of air exchange or the danger of lots of moisture being built up. So you're going to want to put it in something that is airtight. So it's going to be like a sealing tin or a sealing jar, that's nice and dry and totally clean on the inside. And then you're going to want to label that storage container. Okay. Trust. You get 3 or 4 different mints together. Oh, forget about it. You're done. Okay. So definitely make sure to label it. Don't let trying to have really nice, pretty, uniform jars and labels stop you from properly storing and labeling your herbs. Your apothecary is going to look like a hot mess. It's okay. One day you'll be that witch with the perfect little bottles and all the matching labels and all of that stuff. But that's not what we're here for. We're not here to have the Instagrammable apothecary. We're here to have the apothecary that works, that gets results, right? So let's make sure we are storing our herbs in airtight sealing containers and we are labeling them. And from there, it really is just about building relationships. Every single herb that you have is a new friend, and you're making a new relationship with a new friend. And as you build that relationship, you'll get a really good idea of what herbs should be in your apothecary and how much you should have on hand. And that's a part of the fun. So don't be intimidated. Don't compare your apothecary to anybody else's. Start with a good handful of the kitchen herbs you can easily get at the grocery store, and start adding from there. Y'all listening? Y'all taking notes? Y'all paying attention? Who here has a really neat and organized apothecary? What are our apothecaries looking like right now? Y'all need to do a deep clean. Is it time for a New Year deep clean? Because I'm okay with what I got going on. I just really need to dust. I just really need to dust. I need to take everything down and dust the shelves off. But otherwise, like I said, my attention's been on HQ. So ever since that came together, what my apothecary looks like, I don't care. I know where everything is. I got what I need. I'm not running low on anything. If I am, I'm blessed, grateful. I can just run over to the shop and get it. So I think I'm good. I just need to dust up there. Not you. Yeah, see, it doesn't have to be neat and tidy to get the job done. Getting the job done is the most important thing. If there's anything that I can like impart on you, witches, is to always be focusing in on the results and whether or not you are getting results. It's cool if stuff looks nice. It's cool if stuff is organized and cute and like takes a good picture. But we don't practice witchcraft to have like cute tabletops. We do this because it allows us to better our lives and the lives of the people we care about by understanding our true capabilities and potential and understanding how energy works. And at the end of the day, if there aren't results, I don't have time for it. I'm not with it. So, apothecaries of all different shapes and sizes. Yeah. Because listen, if you're going to buy uniform jars, more power to you. I've done that in the past. Um, but it became so much easier to repurpose just good jars. You know what I'm saying? I shop at Trader Joe's quite a bit, and they've got great jars. And a lot of their labels just soak right off. So, yeah, I was doing good. I had like all of these really nice uniform mason jars and like sealing like candle style jars. But all of that went over to HQ, and then we switched over from the glass jars to plastic jars because that makes more sense in the shop. The glass was just too dangerous. That was going to fall over and be a nightmare. So now we have our apothecaries all plastic jars, so it can be safely stacked. And then I gave all those jars away to all the shop witches. I let them take it, and I think we have like maybe 2 left in the closet now. Because I was like, no, I'm not going back to the life. You know what one of the problems was with me with the uniform jars was they all needed to kind of be like the same size. And that was causing me to buy more herbs than I really needed. And I started to realize over time that like I only need like 32-ounce jars for a few herbs that I use a lot of. But for the most part, everything else should be in like little 4-ounce jars at the most. So I've learned that I use way less. So I have way more herbs. Like if you look up there, there's like probably 25 jars just on the top shelf. So I have a much longer list of herbs that are now a part of my regular repertoire. But I've also learned that I don't need to have a pound bag of each, you know. So that's another good tip. When you're buying herbs, less is more. If you're buying an herb because you read it in a spell book, it's a necessary ingredient in something that you're making, what have you, less is more. Always try to get as small of a amount of it as possible. You end up needing far less than you can imagine. And it's not fun having like a pound of some herb like 3 years later. And literally, like, that's what will happen. It'll be that long. Um, you tell yourself, like, oh, I'm going to use this all the time. I'm going to be casting spells every day. And the truth of the matter is, if you're not already doing that every day, you're probably not going to be doing that every day for a long time. It's a lifestyle that you develop over time, and it takes a while. So less is more. Less is more. Okay. Down here, I'm going to bring you guys closer. Hey, Linda. Okay, so down here I have just like a smattering of things. But for the most part, this is where I keep like oils and things for mixing oils and making oils. So all of these boxes have different oils. I'm actually not a huge fan of essential oils, but I do have a set of them in case I want to work with them. And I would say that's probably a helpful thing if you're just getting started in your practice and you want to start making oils for yourself. Adding different blends of essential oils to a carrier oil like grapeseed oil or sunflower oil is going to be pretty much kind of like the easiest way for you to make your own spiritual oils to begin with. I think infusing herbs into oils and certainly extracting your own essential oil is like next level oil stuff. So start off by getting yourself like one of these kits of like food grade or skincare grade essential oils. And that way you can add those to a neutral oil to make your own intention oils. Uh, Much easier than trying to extract from plant matter into oil. That can take forever. So we've got essential oils. Oh, I need to go through this box. I have this cool like pirate box that had a bunch of like travel things in it and like crystal balls and such. But I need to go through this because I want to reclaim some of these things. Little containers of resins. I think, oh, you know what this was? Back when I used to do the new moon and full moon live readings, I had this on the table. And this is like where I would get the stuff to burn on my cauldron. So this is like a random smattering of stuff. But over here are all of my other oils. And I just use like these makeup things that you can get at like the beauty supply. These make great storage for anything small. So I have lots of different oils in there, and those are all like not essential oils. So those are oils that I've made, that I've bought from other witches, or that I've been gifted and things like that. So that's oils. And then you're going to always see like strainers, funnels, things like this. Little gadgets and gizmos like this you'll start to collect if you start making your own stuff. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can start kind of collecting these types of things because they're going to come in handy for sure. And you're going to need several types of grinders. Over time, you're going to get more and more types of grinders. I always forget what you call this kind, but it's like a Japanese one that helps to break up like nuts and spices and stuff. But I use it for grinding up resin because that can be tricky. Big old cauldron for making my spiritual baths. Making sure I'm not missing any comments. Okay, and then down here, and this is why I have a shop now, because one of my girlfriends was like, "Oh my gosh, your bedroom is like a store." So, yep. Can you guys see that? Okay, so down here we have powders and salves are all on this shelf. So black walnut powder, guar gum for making incense, hotfoot powder, and various powders that I've made or purchased. Lots of Vaseline. That is a secret tip. I literally signed an NDA with the witch that taught me what to do with these. So I literally cannot tell you, but I have like 8 tubs of Vaseline on me at any given time. Incredibly useful is what I'll say there. So those are powders. Over here, I have like big roots and like big weird herbs. So this is like a huge bundle of an African herb called mfefo. Took like weeks to get here. And it's a huge bundle, so I just keep it down here. And like calamus roots and stuff. So these are like big herbs, big roots, vines, morning glory vines, and stuff that are like too big for jars. Some snake skin. It's useful to have. Then down here, I have my colognes. Can you guys see me? Hear me? These are all of my colognes. I try to keep, there are a few that I use on a regular basis. I really use these for cleaning, that's what I would recommend. because they're not necessarily like made from super all natural ingredients. They're like just like alcohol and dye and various chemicals and things like that. But they're kind of a staple in a lot of practices. And growing up in a place like the Bronx where you have lots of botanicas, your practice is more often than not going to include these. But I think we've kind of learned over time that like using it in our spiritual baths and actually putting it on our bodies and stuff is maybe not the best. So I basically use these for cleaning my altar space based on the type of work that I'm about to do. So, for example, I have behind me some evil eye work on my altar that I have to do in the next couple of days. And when I'm ready to do that, I'm going to take this evil eye cologne, and this is most likely what I'll use to clean down my tools, clean down my space, and everything before I get started. So, clean my candles, blah, blah, blah. And then over here in the corner, I have a fuck ton of honey because I only use one particular type of honey from the Ballard's farm here in New York in my medicinal potions. So before the farmer's market ends on like Thanksgiving week, I stock up on a ton of honey. So I have a ton of honey down here to get me through all of my winter magic and medicine making. And then I really like these, which are kind of corny, but I really like these pre-made baths from the Botanica. Oh, actually. Okay, yep, I was supposed to remember I had that. Wait. Okay. That's what we got going on over there. Any questions, anybody? Questions? Anybody see anything? I know you're not like super up close, but anybody see anything that you are curious about? I'm going to show you guys my altar because the altar is like a night table that I converted, so it also has storage. So I have stuff down here. I'm going to put some things away. Let me see. Should I use this other camera? Yeah, that Book of Shadows video. That was like my first one. And I've subsequently made another video that was about mistakes I was making with my Book of Shadows. So I don't use that one anymore, but I can't bring myself to throw it out. I spent way too much time on like painting the pages and all kinds of stuff like that. And there's useful information in it. But I've learned a much better system for keeping my Book of Shadows now that is derived, that's based on me like doing different things first and then putting it into my Book of Shadows. So I have my journal, which I call my Book of Mirrors, that I write in on like a regular basis, or when I do a tarot reading, um, when I'm doing my prayers and meditations in the morning, I will write things in there, and that's where I'll plan stuff. Like, oh, I'm going to cast this spell, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, etc. It's also where I'll reflect once I have done the spell, the ritual, the event, the whatever. Um, and then only after that does it go into my Book of Shadows, which is a little bit more manageable in size. This is like my second or third of this style. I want to get these in the shop because we don't have quite this big. We have really, really, really nice leather journals, but not this size. So that's her now. And she's got a lot less going on, but for a good reason. Everything in her is a lot more substantiated. Everything in here was like hypothetical. Like, these are the spells I feel like I need to have in case this happens or this happens or this happens. And now my Book of Shadows really is just a reflection of what I have actually casted and what the results have been and all that good stuff. But yeah, decorating it was definitely fun. I don't want to decorate these because they're too nice, just as they are. So, okay, do you guys see the other camera over here? Hi. I put another camera view for you so that I can show you the altar this way, which, okay, I know it looks like it might be messy right now, but trust me, everything is where it is supposed to be. I got a bunch of candles that I'm doing things with. So when I first get spiritual items, especially if I don't have time to like immediately go and cleanse them, I will just place them on my working altar because my working altar is a sacred space. It is constantly being cleansed and reset before I begin my next working or just in between workings. And so this is a place where I feel very comfortable that I can bring an item from the outside and place it here. And if there's any lingering or negative energy attached to that item, that it's going to be contained and potentially even neutralized just by sitting in this space. So I will always put everything here. So I've got a bunch of candles here because I brought a bunch of candles over from the shop for various things that I am working on in the next couple of days. Yeah, so that's why we've got a lot of candles just sitting up on top. Typically, this area here would generally be just like clear and ready, for stuff. But right now, there is stuff. Yeah, the too many journals thing is it's gonna happen, because journals, they're fabulous. They're wonderful. And you want to record everything as best you can because, especially if you're an academic person, that seems like the way to learn. Um, but my issue was that I was doing more journaling than I was actual witchcraft. I was journaling about it more than I was doing it. And I had to pull back from that and be like, okay, this journal being the most amazing grimoire ever created is not the point. The point is for your journal to be a genuine reflection of the magic that you have cast so that you can look back and learn and get better. And when I shifted that, it changed things a lot. And I feel like I realized that I didn't need so many journals if I wasn't going to be writing from such a hypothetical place, you know? So, because I still have like a notepad by my bed. But I don't know if I can even call that my dream journal because I really just have it there so that I can write stuff down really quickly before I forget. A lot of times I'm writing in the dark and it's completely illegible. So it's not really a journal. I do all of that reflecting now just in one book, in my book of mirrors. And whether I'm recording the results of a tarot reading or I'm just talking about my day or I'm manifesting something, it all pretty much goes into the same journal. And then from there, it's like, oh, should maybe this be all in the same book? And that's where my Book of Shadows comes in because that's where I put the spells and rituals that I've done once or twice in there. And I'm like, okay, now this is my go-to blah. It's a much better way of doing things. It's a much, I'm not the learn as you go type, I think is my problem. I don't really like that. I like to get like a crash course in something and then start. But I'm learning that you don't typically get that with the craft. And maybe that's the point, is to do and to learn while doing. And so it's like frustrating to not have a book with, 100 of the most common spells and rituals that I might need. But it will be after many, many, many years of those things kind of coming into being. So, yeah, it's been a journey with my journals. It's been a journey. Okay, can you guys see this in the other camera? So, I turned this like night table type thingy that had like an opening front and drawer into my working altar because it was wide enough that I could use the top for a bunch of stuff, but then there would be storage underneath. So down in here, I have this crate that is filled with glass jars, bottles, wine, goblets, and things, pretty much anything glass. I've got smaller glass jars and stuff in like a baggie on its own for easier finding, but pretty much just a bunch of jars of different sizes in here, candle holders and things like that. And then over here, I've got several pictures. I really love these guys. I highly recommend them if you live in, pretty much anywhere you can find these, but definitely if you live in an urban environment, check out like the Latin section of the supermarket, and you'll find all of these different sizes of aluminum pitchers. They're usually used, I think, for like making coffee and stuff like that, but they make great pitchers for spiritual bathing. I like to use these to pour my baths over myself. And then I have like a bunch of different sizes for different things. So they have these little ones for heating up coffee. These are fabulous for like smoke cleansing a large space. You can put some sand in the bottom and a charcoal brick and carry this because the handle's not going to get hot. So that's cool. I've got like this size. I really like this size for candle safety, and I'm going to show you guys in a second like my ultimate trick for incredible candle safety. But these sizes are great because they're big enough to put a little water in and set your glass candles into. So if you're burning like a 7-day or 9-day candle, a little water and then place the candle in that's going to be a nice protective spot to put your candle in to prevent it from burning when it gets to the bottom. This is my last book of shadows over here, and I've got like some more pictures back there. And then one of the best tips I ever got was from one of my hoodoo teachers. These are just like some bowls and stuff. Was terracotta saucers. These make the absolute best spell plates or spell trays. They're fabulous. You can put chime candles right on them, stick them right on there. They are wonderfully heat resistant. If a candle falls over on them, the candle's probably just going to go out. It's not going to catch on fire. They're light. They're pretty lightweight, but very durable. They're absorbent. So I have spilled oil and all kinds of stuff on it, and it's back to being matte. It's stained, but it doesn't feel shiny or weird or anything like that. And I love to, you can probably see, draw different sigils and symbols on them with chalk or chalk markers. And, you can clean it off with alcohol. So I have these terracotta saucers of like tons of different sizes. Super, super, super handy. For spell casting, I would say they're my favorite material of um, like spell tray. I like metal as well, but the terracotta is really a winner. Okay. So that's what's in there. Oh, that's my slipper. Okay. Thanks. I'll take that back. Okay. Let's see. Okay, my ultimate fire safety tip for the witches, okay? The single most helpful thing I have ever bought, have ever got myself, that is just so wonderful is lanterns. I have a bunch at the shop, here at my apartment, and I highly recommend you invest in some lanterns. Lanterns, okay? You would not think of it because whenever you think of a lantern, you probably think of like corny yard decorations or like, you know, old English maidens like walking through a field or what have you. Get yourself some real metal lanterns. You can get them at like Wayfair, probably Target too, and stuff like that. Just make sure they're like not just decorative, but that they're like genuine lanterns. They should be glass paned and they should be metal, and have proper ventilation out through the top and be designed to actually have a candle put into it. But lanterns are freaking fantastic. You get the size that you need. Obviously, this is like a large or whatever. So this is a 7-day candle. So that's going to go right in there. And it's going to be able to burn down with no problem. And if it does get to the end and the glass shatters, or there's some issue or whatever, it's totally contained. And I showed you guys the mug a second ago. If you wanted an extra layer of safety, you could also put the candle inside of a mug that was small enough to fit inside of the lantern with some water in that as well. So you can still use the water trick to keep the candle safe on top of putting it in the lantern. So then it'll be doubly safe. So don't sleep on lanterns. I really was like, kind of smacking myself when it occurred to me to buy these. And I was like, why have I not thought of this before? And why are not more witches talking about lanterns as being super freaking useful for all of your candle magic needs? Oh, and besides terracotta, I also really love ceramic plates. So I have terracotta plates and ceramic plates of a whole bunch of different sizes, and they're really great for your spell casting needs. Chime candles stick onto these really really well, and the deeper ones I use to charge my spiritual baths. You can really easily float a tea light or stick a chime like right down into it because it's kind of sticky. It will still stick on the ceramic even though there's water in it. I've done it plenty of times. I don't know what is going on upstairs. I was joking around with the book club, but I wasn't joking that my upstairs neighbors so just by the skin of their teeth avoided me casting them out of here. Like, these people are terrible. And it has been so miserable ever since they moved in. I've lived here for 11 years. They just moved in a few years ago, and it's been terrible living underneath them. And as a Wiccan, I take the decision to do any type of baneful magic very seriously. And I'm not saying that I don't do it. I'm just saying that I take that decision very seriously. And there's a lot of conversation between me and spirit before I go down certain routes. And I had reached my limit. People trying to kick down your door for nearly an hour at 4 in the morning is a limit. Like, I'm like, you guys are dangerous at this point to like have in the building. So I was so close. I went and I even got the candle. I was so close. I was like, I'm done. I'm getting them out of here. I don't care. You got kids. I don't care. Y'all gonna be homeless for the holidays because I'm getting rid of y'all. Y'all suck. And in a funny stroke of events, I ended up becoming like besties with the baby mama that lives upstairs now. Now we're friends. And now I'm not going to do it because now we're like kind of cool or whatever. But she saved her butt by being nice to me because they were about to have to go. But she earned herself some time. Now we have each other's phone numbers and stuff. So lucky her. She got blessed. She almost got hot footed right the fuck up out of this building. I was like, this is ridiculous. 4 o'clock in the morning. Somebody, I don't know, somebody that they had at their house, somebody they were partying with or whoever, drunk, I assume, literally kicking in their door because they weren't opening. I don't know if they weren't home or what the hell was going on. But for nearly an hour, I almost called the police, which is huge for me because I'd rather cast baneful magic than call the police. I do not. ACAB over here. So, yeah. That's how bad it was. But she managed to save her tail. Made nice with me the other day. But now they're up there doing something. And I don't know what they could be doing at 8:30 on a Tuesday. It sounds like they're like moving furniture. It always sounds like a small herd of elephants are doing whatever it is that they're doing. It's being done by a small herd of elephants. It's terrible. Well, anybody who came into the room late, what are you sipping on? What are you enjoying for your high tea? Yes, they have children, if you can believe it, unfortunately. No, 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 no. It's actually not the kids. No, it's not the kids. That's the messed up part. They blame their kids, which is really unfortunate, but it's not the kids. The guy who lives in the apartment has a whole freaking game table in the middle of the living room. Like one of those like air hockey tables that like plays 5 or 6 different games. It's them. They're like drunk off their ass all the time. So I feel for those kids actually. The kids are like, like like traumatized children who live in like chaos environments, how they tend to be like really kind of quiet and like they really want to talk to you, but they're also like really nervous. That's how their kids are. And so their kids are just always sort of like in the corner. And if you go up there to complain, they will blame their kids and be like, oh, it's the kids. We can't tell them what to do. Meanwhile, the kids are just in the corner, just like chilling, doing nothing. It's the adults. They're like drunk off their ass, like falling all over the place all the time. Ginger peach tea. Yum. Oh no. Oh. No, I only laugh just because that's like, of course, right? You're like mad at these people, and then you find out like this situation. Yeah, that would happen like that, right? Well, I'm sorry to hear. Right, I know. That just takes the sting out of it because you want to be mad. You want to be mad and you want to be like, ah, and then you find that out and you're like, oh, sorry. I guess it's fine. Yeah, no, they have no such excuse. They are just loud drunks that like to party and don't have a lot of consideration for anybody but themselves, pretty much. Yeah, in your situation, I was not going to put up with it, but now, like I said, now me and the girl are cool. So now I can just text her and be like, hey, can you keep it down? So hopefully that will facilitate more camaraderie between us. And I will use that hot foot candle for someone else. And I have someone in mind. So it will go to use, but not on Enrique and his loud family. Yeah. So the last thing for me to put away now are my candles. That was the last thing I didn't show you. Underneath my working altar, there's also a drawer. And in the drawer, I have like my incense and candles and stuff. And something that I started doing a while ago, this was a tip from the Witch of Wonderlust, and that is to keep your chime candles in jars. I find this to be very helpful. So, one of the issues I've had, and you guys might have had this issue too, is if you get chime candles of different colors and you leave them next to each other for too long, the color of the wax will transfer. And so your white candles will end up polka dot because it will be like covered with other candle waxes. And I find that keeping them in a jar and down in a cool drawer near the floor keeps them from transferring onto each other as much. And I've also started separating out my colors from my white and black chime candles, and I keep those in two separate piles, and that way I don't have the black getting on everything too. So that has helped a lot. And then a little tip I added. So I took that glass jar tip and kind of upped it a notch. I cleanse all of my spiritual tools as soon as I get them. I mentioned earlier, sometimes I don't do it immediately and I put it in my altar. But when I do get around to cleansing them, I cleanse everything before I put anything away. That way, when I'm ready to go, yes, Betty, I'm answering your question. That way, they're ready to go when I am. So I cleanse my candles and then I put them in the jars. One thing I started doing to kind of like maintain the cleanse, right? Because if they're sitting around for a while, they could pick up some other stuff. So I put salt in the jar, and I also put a little bit of echinacea. Not on my white and black candles, but on my color candles that I use for spells. Echinacea is an herb that you can add to other herbs and other workings to kind of add an oomph, the way you would add it to your body to add a little oomph to like your immune system and stuff. I add that to my jars. That way, my candles are sitting in salt and herbs, and they stay cleansed and ready to rock. So when it's time to go, bam, pull it out and it's ready to go. No, they are anything but soundproof. My gosh. Anything but. They are anything but sound. Yeah, what are they like moving? Maybe they're moving out. Wouldn't that be great? You keep your chime candles in a box of black salt. Cool. Yeah, similar idea. Similar idea. Sounds like they're moving furniture. I'm that nosy neighbor, but I don't want to be the nosy neighbor. I'm only the nosy neighbor because they're so freaking loud. I wouldn't be the nosy neighbor. Okay, so those are the clear or the colored ones, and then I have a bigger jar for my white and black. And my white and black candles I have in just salt. I don't usually use the white or the black for spell work. These are usually my they're like illumination candles kind of, but I really use them for like balancing the energy. Something I learned from Lady Grave Dancer many years ago in one of her videos. And a spin on something she does. She lights a black candle, I believe, anytime she does spell work to kind of attract or and dispel negative energy from the space around where she's working. And for me, I felt called to do that, but more from a perspective of balancing the energy. So I always have a white candle and a black candle going when I'm doing spell work. So I keep those separate, just in salt, no echinacea. Because they're just doing their thing. And then, oh my goodness, I'm down to my last silver and gold. Then I have a jar of silver and gold chimes for rituals that are related specifically to the god and goddess. And then, of course, handy dandy tea lights. Gotta have those on hand. There are so many things, maybe not so many, but there's like a handful of things that, as a baby witch, I did not find magical, because I had very like mundane associations with them, like they weren't magical enough. So like tea lights weren't magical enough because they were just like so basic, and stick incense wasn't magical enough. I spent a lot of time burning resin on charcoal for no reason, just because like stick incense wasn't witchy enough, you know? And it's so kind of interesting for me to see my practice take a total 180 and come back to around to now. For me, it's like, what is the most simple yet effective way to get something done, right? So, like, if I need to burn some sandalwood, yeah, I could go and light a charcoal tab and wait 15 minutes for it to get hot and like grind up some sandalwood chips and like all that stuff. Or I could get a stick of sandalwood incense, light that bad boy, and be done with it. Um, that used to not be witchy enough for me. That used to be like too regular and mundane. And now I'm like, give me the simple, give me the direct. And tea lights are definitely one of those things where when I first started out, I was like, I can't cast a spell with a tea light. Like, I can't do anything significant with a tea light. It's got to be a 7-day candle. It's got to be a pull-out candle that I can carve with a sigil and roll and herbs and la 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 la. And now I'm like, yeah, I'm going to cry onto this tea light and light it and get some shit done. So it's funny to me, the things that I stack up on now that before I would have been like, that's not witchy enough. Thank you. Appreciate you. I'm going to be doing live tarot readings over on my OnlyFans tonight. So I thought I'd go ahead and get my makeup done now and be ready. I don't, if you guys tuned into the Get Ready With Me the other day, I don't know if I'm going to put Veronica on today. I kind of like this situation. I think it goes with the holiday vibe. And I wanted to do a little holiday look, so I'm glad you like it. Yeah, the salt and herbs helps too because it absorbs moisture and it creates a barrier in between each candle so they're not rubbing up against each other and transferring color. So it's hopeful in a lot of ways. Zodiac, oh my gosh, I think I just summoned you. I literally just said I'm about to go live on my OnlyFans to do tarot readings for Topless Tarot Tuesdays. And boom, Mr. Zodiac's in the building. That is so funny. Welcome. Thank you, Betty. I appreciate you, my dear. Thank you very much for making these lives possible. I wish I could show you guys my current setup. One day we'll have a fancy recording studio because this is kind of ghetto, but it's getting the job done. You guys are like on several pieces of furniture. Ooh, I love that. Yeah, and as time goes on, you do that more. And things shift. Like I've gone around and around when it comes to kits, on whether or not they're useful for me in my practice. There'll be like a time where I'll be like, you know what, these are actually kind of helpful for like restocking and like randomly having little things. And other times I'll be like, no, these aren't really useful to me. I have everything that I need, or I have access to everything that I need. And I've gone around and around. So a ladder where? Here? A ladder? Okay, tea lights are away. I have a little bit extra, so these are going to go. I have another stash that I keep in the bathroom. In the bathroom, I have kind of like a little mini altar setup, I guess you could call it. But it's basically just like a candelabra and a little incense holder. So when I want to do a spiritual bath, I don't have to run around and get a whole bunch of things. There's a candle holder and an incense holder right there ready to go. So I'm going to fill up my little stash of candles for the candle holder that are in the bathroom with that. We're going to save this hot foot because Miss Lady upstairs saved herself. So now we're using that for somebody else. These are herbs already prepped for my full moon bath. That will be tomorrow morning. OGs in the building know I always do a spiritual bath on the full moon and I fast on the new moon. Those are my rituals to honor and call in the shift that happens with those moon transits because I'm so sensitive to the moon and her fluctuations. So I make sure to check in with myself and give myself what I need. And around the full moon, I need cleansing. I need to let go. I need to take a moment to express gratitude and release whatever emotions have been building. And on the new moon, I tend to want to go kind of fresh, restart. I find myself wanting to clean, declutter, throw things away, cancel subscriptions, things like that. So on the new moon, I usually do a juice fast and I support myself in that and give myself a reset. So those are the herbs for my full moon bath already ready to go. And I've been called on by a friend to do some evil eye work. So I've got a blue candle and evil eye talismans and various things lined up. So that's what's cooking in my magical kitchen this week, you guys. And that's the magical spot. Oh, yeah, bookshelf. I have a larger bookshelf in my living room, but this is like, these are the books that I like to have readily on hand. Starting with my purple Bible and moving on down the line. I should do a post about that one day, what those books are. What are the books that BronxWitch keeps right in her magical area as opposed to on the bookshelf in the living room with all of the other also great books, but not necessarily that I reach for on a regular basis. I should do that. No, I don't think there's a ladder. Mm-mm. Yeah, exactly. And listen, those types of hobbies can get carried away real quick. Before you know it, you are dedicating shelves upon shelves in your home to making candles. Oh, the white metal shelf. It did actually find a new home. It's in the shop now. Where's my tea? It's in the shop. Yes, it is currently holding spiritual colognes and baskets with herb smudges in it. Yeah, she found a new home and I upgraded. Because remember had that originally is where my herbs were, and a bunch of other stuff. I was looking at some of my old videos the other day, going back. I was like, oh, my cute little corner. My corner, she's expanded. Okay, she's upgraded, yes. Probably it folds up, actually. The middle shelves like pop up and then it collapses on itself. So it's pretty easy. Yes, Zebulon is welcoming Zodiac in the building. What's up? We're having an audience crossover, which we love. So, yes. Hola. I like that. Yes, welcome. Zodiac is amazing. Zodiac was my official first like real supporter on my OnlyFans. So thank you. I appreciate the love. And I'm loving it over there, guys. I have to admit, it is so much fun. I have been meeting really like surprisingly wonderful people, I have to admit. So it's been absolutely lovely. I think my live for tonight is scheduled for 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So for those of you who want to join in, you can. I will be doing live zodiac readings for the full moon. So I'll be going through all of the zodiac signs. You are able to tune in and receive the reading for your sun, moon, or rising, or you can request your own question, your own card pull with a tip. And we have really fun tip goals over there. It is called Topless Tarot Tuesdays. So you can imagine what some of the prizes are for reaching those goals. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. So tune in if you would like your spirituality with a side of sexuality. If you like your tarot with a side of tetas. Join me over there, 9:30. Yes. Yes, listen, I really like having like spontaneous celebrations, because it can be so much pressure to be like have something planned and do all this stuff. And sometimes when you find it at the last minute is when you do like the most genuine, meaningful stuff. Because that's when you're like, oh, well, I guess I can't do anything but just like sit here and look up at her right now. And that'll be life changing. Yeah, no, I can imagine. I remember when one of Grecia, I don't know if you guys know her. If you follow my Instagram, then you probably do. But I remember when she started hers, it was so funny because a lot of people in her community were like, "You are my spiritual leader. I cannot see you in a negligee." And she was like, "I am a human being. I am not like the Pope." But I also get it. I get it. Yes, exactly. Yeah. She was like, "You guys." Everyone was like, "No." But that's okay because you end up just having like different audiences for different places. And so far, everybody that I have met over there, I have really felt like I was supposed to be here right at this moment at this time, and so were they. So it's like it's almost like as if I was starting my YouTube all over again. That excitement of like, who are you? Who are these people? Where are you coming from? What's your name? So, like, if you like meeting new people, it's a fun sensation to have like a whole new audience of people say hi. Because usually for me, it's I know everybody, so I'm always like, oh, hey, hey. And now it's like, newbies. Who you? What are you up to? What's your life all about? So it's pretty cool. I'm loving it. But yeah, I don't think I'm putting Veronica on. Veronica is my new copper ginger. Is she a bob? Asymmetrical bob number that we put on the other night. That was a big hit. I really loved her. She's gorgeous. I'm definitely going to be throwing her on. But I kind of feel like the spiky updo really goes with the holiday vibe. It's giving festive and fun. I feel like Veronica's a little serious. I think tonight we're going to be festive and fun. You guys, I'm just a regular person, okay? I love that though. That's really sweet. That is nice. I would say you might be missing out, but I respect your reasoning. Hey June, what's up? Yes, get it, Betty, get it. Rah! You can do it. You got this. Listen, getting the job is never a problem with you, right? It's all about, are they going to come correct? Are the benefits and the money and the schedule and all of that stuff going to be right? But you don't have no problem getting the job. They be playing games sometimes. Hello, my darling. Welcome. Yeah, you got this, yo. That's gonna be easy. All right. Is there anything I didn't show you guys? I showed you my book of shadows. That's on a podium that was made for me, which is very nice. And I don't know if I'm gonna go over and get it and show it, but um, two other tips that I would give to you guys. I just don't feel like getting. They're like under the bed, but two other tips that I would give you for your witchy space, no matter how big, how small, or whatever. It's a principle that can be helpful for either way. Oh, that's awesome. Um, Crystals. When you're getting crystals, it can be kind of overwhelming because you can start to have like small little crystals that you don't necessarily know what to do with or things like that. Get yourself one of those little craft boxes, those like plastic craft boxes that have little squares in them that people use for keeping like their beads organized and stuff like that. Crafters with like little beads or, tools, little screws and nails and bolts and stuff like that. Just get yourself one of those like compartmentalized cases, and label those and put your crystals into those. I have like two of those, and I have my crystals organized by type into those, and that has been super helpful for me over the years. I keep them all in there. It's easy to keep everything cleansed, and when I need a crystal, I know I have one, as opposed to them being in a million places and me buying another piece of tourmaline because I forgot that I already had a piece of tourmaline. You know what I mean? I have my sections and I can easily see like, oh shoot, like I used my last piece of tourmaline in that protection jar I made. Let me go get some more. Yes, Betty said a wooden tea caddy. That also would work too. I like the cover. If some tea caddies have covers, some of them don't. Um, the plastic bins for like beads and stuff, seal up really nicely to make sure that nothing falls out. So I like that for keeping them dust free and making it really portable and easy to carry around. But any type of like compartmentalized thing could definitely work. Is it full moon in Cancer or Taurus? Yep, Cancer. Full moon in Cancer. Ooh, we love a witchy makeover. I like that it's neat and organized. That makes such a huge difference. That keeps you from wasting. That's really helpful to prevent waste. Just being able to easily see what you have, what you're running out of, what you actually do need. Clear lid. Oh, that's good because then you can see inside. That's great. Yes, remember to like the live. Thank you very much, Betty, for reminding the witches. I appreciate it. So plastic compartmentalized storage containers for your crystals. And then the other thing I recommend is what I call a magic box. It can be a shoe box. A shoe box is perfect. But any just like little box or whatever, however big it needs to be is like up to you. But something that can just like be under your bed or whatever. And this is where you want to put random things, random little knickknacks. Let's say you buy crystals and you put your crystals in your organizer, and they came in like cute little organza bags. These could be like herb sachet or mojo bags down the line. So maybe you feel like, I don't want to throw it out, but I don't really know what to do with it. Just keep a box to put stuff like that in. These boxes are so helpful for you down the line. One thing I have learned about witchcraft is it really is a craft. You do a lot of crafting, making things, fashioning dolls, etching into candles, or, whatever it is that you're doing. And having like art supplies essentially and craft supplies is useful. um, and then there will be things that you get that feel spiritually significant or magically significant in some way, and maybe you just don't know at the moment exactly how. Right, somebody might gift you a stone or gift you some seashells or crystals from somewhere nice. And you don't really know what to do with it. It feels important. You don't want to, get rid of it. Maybe you foraged for something in the woods and found some rocks or something. That box is a great place for that. It's also a good place to put tarot decks that you might mess up. And I encourage you to do that. If you have a tarot deck that, let's say, you lose a card or you damage a card and now it doesn't shuffle right anymore, hang on to that deck, keep it in your little magic box, and you can use those cards in spell work. You can use them for making like little manifestation packets. You can use them for different spells. Like I worked a hot foot spell once where I used the tarot cards as like a progression for how I wanted the person to move on with their lives. So you can use tarot cards in spell work. And so keeping those cards around is a good idea. And the magic box is a great place to keep them. So those are two types of storage that I think uh, are really wise for any witch, but certainly a beginner witch to have to keep themselves kind of organized, and prevent you from like wasting money on buying things that you don't really need because you already have them, or like remembering where everything is and blah, 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 blah. Compartmentalized plastic container and a magic box for just like stuff that feels magical. I am doing great on time. That is sort of rare for me, gotta say. But this is fantastic. I have 30 minutes. I already put a little makeup on. This is what I'm wearing to my tarot readings tonight. So I'm pretty much good to go. So I think I'm going to go and play my playlist, my special playlist, and light some candles and some incense and get in the mood. No, I was saying I don't think I'm pulling Veronica out tonight. I feel like this do goes so much better with my vibe. I think Veronica will be back next Tuesday because next Tuesday's outfit is going to be real spicy, spicy caliente, and the copper wig I think is going to be perfect for that. Today it's giving Christmas cozy. It's still the holidays for me because technically my work week doesn't start until tomorrow. So until then, I am trying to stay in this holiday mood of relaxation and coziness. And yeah, tonight's live is my last event as a public figure. So, right? Don't you think? You've seen the wig, so you can compare it. Some folks in here may not have seen it, but if you've seen it, hey Nisi, if you've seen it, then you can compare it. Which do you think is more festive and goes more with the outfit, the spiky updo or the copper wig? You tell me what you think. I've expressed my. Okay. I hope I didn't pressure you and that's like how you genuinely feel. But that is how I feel like it's giving like Whovilles, right? Isn't that the Grinch people? I agree. Veronica is serious. She's very serious. So we'll be back to serious next week. But we're still in the holiday vibe. All right, which is you have been tuning in to a little high tea live. This is my monthly hangout session. Basically, we get together on the full moons and we enjoy some herbs together. Some of us smoke them. As you can tell, that has been my choice this evening. Some of us drink them, burn them, but we gather together and we talk about magic and witchcraft and tarot. And sometimes we have crafting projects and things we do together. Today, we were taking a look at my witchy room, a little tour of how I organize my magical space. And this is live streaming to all of the witches in the Coven community and to my witches over on YouTube. But High Tea is definitely a Coven exclusive. It's not always available in live time on my YouTube. So if you want to be able to tune into all of these hangout sessions, then you might want to consider becoming a Coven community witch. It is a monthly membership, just $9.99. You get access to our book club, our Witches of Color support group, exclusive lives like this from me and other HQ witches, free access to classes taught by guest instructors, monthly discount codes, and a bunch of other really cool stuff. So consider joining us over in the Coven community. And I will see my Coven witches in the next one. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.